Have you ever been driving down a windy back country road or beside a cornfield on the main highway and seen the eyes of a deer? You hit the brakes and take a deep breath because you didn't hit the deer this time. Well, you got lucky, because deer vehicle crashes happen all the time. Having done a lot of research, I have found out that a lot of things need to be changed in the hunting season regulations. With this being said, hunting season needs to be expanded and have better and more efficient regulations to keep deer out of the roads and in the woods. I want to share with you some of the regulations of hunting season, a true life story of a deer causing a car crash and how they affect drivers all around the United States. Deer cause a lot of problems on the road, and I will focus on how they can be solved. Hunting season starts on September 28th, kicking off with Youth Day on a Saturday, the day where any kid 15 and under can go hunting before the more experienced hunters get out there and stir up the deer. By January 4th, the season is already mostly over, with only antlerless season until April. During the season, you can only have 6 tags and can only use 2 tags a day. Tags are for calling them in every time you get a deer. You can be fined if you don't call them in. Also, if you kill a 4-point, you have to get a point that is bigger, and you can be fined if you don't. Fall is the breeding season for deer, the time they become more active. The deer population is out of control, and because of this, most hunters in the first month of hunting have already used half of their tags, only leaving them with few more for the rest of the season. That being said, there should be more tickets for hunters. Also, I feel that teens in high school should be allowed to miss 1 day a month excused for hunting because there are starting to be a lot of young hunters. The season should start in the beginning of September and end in April, and ticket limit should be 12. Some hunters argue that it is too warm for deer to be out in September, but there are reports of deer all year round. The influence of the annual changes in environmental factors on the timing of the rut and the length of the gestation period in white-tailed deer is poorly judged. In Virginia, it is illegal to bait a deer, like put corn out for it to eat so that you can shoot them. Well, why is that such a bad thing? I'd rather see a deer get shot than an innocent driver wrecked because of the deer being in the road. Now that you see some of the changes that need to be made, let me tell you about the impact of deer vehicle crashes. Did you know that 2% of vehicle fatalities and injuries involve deer collisions? That may not sound like much, but that is nationwide. In Ohio alone, there were 21,000 deer-related collisions, resulting in 1,013 injuries and 6 deaths. Just this past 4th of July, I was in a car crash caused by multiple deer in the road. I came around a sharp turn, and there were 5 deer just in the middle of the turn, and in a blink of an eye, my car was going straight, hitting a tree, a telephone pole, and a fence. Luckily, no one was hurt, but we were all shaken up. I was 18 at the time and had never been in a car crash. Also, going back to earlier, that was proof that deer are out in the summer as well. In Ohio, they have an Oh Deer campaign, and they have these on the signs with the deer crossing, and that's like their warning. And this is a vehicle that actually drug the deer all the way to McDonald's, and this is sightings of deer along the road. There's 7 of them. And this picture is a picture of the deer actually going through the windshield, and if there would have been a passenger, most likely would have died. I don't know if there was or not. Deer shouldn't be in the road and causing wrecks. People are dying from these animals. Here are some helpful tips to avoiding deer vehicle collisions. Pay attention to deer crossing signs, like the picture I just showed you. That doesn't mean to slam on your brakes and freak out. It just means there have been a lot of sightings of deer in that area. Be more aware during dawn and dusk. Make sure to have headlights on. Scan the shoulders of the road so that you can see their eyes glowing. Have high beams on if you can. It is easier to see the shoulders and their eyes. One deer crossing the road may indicate others. Do not rely on honking or high beaming or flashing your lights to run them away. If anything, they will be scared and possibly run in your direction or any other direction. I hope you all go hunting at least once, because you never know, you might like it and you can make a difference. Also encourage others to go hunting. And also make sure to talk about the things I've mentioned in this paper, because hunting needs to be changed. Stay safe on the roads, because cars, trucks, and tractors aren't always the only thing on them.